You an established small business owner or aspiring entrepreneur? Would you like professional advice to help your business grow and succeed? Well, look no further. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is the territory's #1 resource to move your business forward. Enjoy no-cost advising, low-cost training, and technical assistance from experts in both the public and private sectors. The VISBDC is nationally accredited and sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration. Visit us at our locations on St. Thomas, St. John, or St. Croix, and follow us on social media at VISBDC. For easy access to all our training and networking events, be sure to join our newsletter and download the VISBDC app. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, here to help your business start, grow, and succeed.
Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the VISBDC's hosting of the Fundamentals of Business Credit in collaboration with First Bank VI. Today's webinar continues the VISBDC's focus on April being Financial Literacy Month. We have put together essential training opportunities that educate both entrepreneurs and small business owners in getting their personal and business finances in order. This session focuses on how your personal credit reflects on your business credit. Participants will join the discussion on what lenders look for, the importance of a business plan, and how to prepare a strong package to secure funding. Allow me to introduce today's lead presenter, Mr. Calvin Morris. Mr. Morris has an educational background from Basse-Terre High School in St. Kitts. He attended College of the Virgin Islands and graduated in 1983 with a Bachelor of Arts in Business with a concentration in finance. His career cites over 30 years of experience in banking, to include working at Bank of Nova Scotia in the roles of consumer lending officer, branch manager, commercial loan officer. He has also worked with the Virgin Islands Community Bank in the capacity of commercial loan officer, and currently he works with the First Bank of the Virgin Islands as a business relationship officer. As a business relationship officer, he has overseen all aspects of commercial lending, to include accepting commercial loan applications, reviewing business plans and financial statements, underwriting loans, follow for approvals, and follow through to closing. Some of his duties has been communicating with officials from the Small Business Administration, SBA, and the Virgin Islands Economic Development Bank regarding programs that will support certain loan requests. Here's a friendly reminder to put your questions in the chat, and they will be addressed by the presenting team either directly in the chat or later during our question and answer segment. A copy of this presentation is available upon email request to training@visbdc.org. We encourage you to take a few minutes after this training to fill out the survey that lets us know how we're doing. So presenter Morris, let's just hit from beginning on your slideshow so everyone can see it nice and big. And without further ado, the floor will be yours.
You see my, sorry, Sharika. Yeah, you see my screen?
You see it, just hit on the top left from beginning so it can come up a little
Okay.
bit. We should be good to go. So very top left under file,
Yes, it's there.
right there.
Okay.
And now we have to hit display settings and that drop down arrow in the middle top. At the very top, you see show taskbar, display settings. There's a drop down arrow on your top left. Okay. So click the next option, display settings, click there. Click there, right there, display settings, click it.
Where shall we? Huh?
Move the mouse up to display settings. Got it?
Come.
Okay, so we're having a few technical difficulties, so top left. Okay, next one, to the right of that. Display
This
settings.
meeting is, no, it's saying this meeting is being recorded.
Okay, go to the right. Yes,
Uh,
one over to the right. Go over, right. Click on that. Swap presenter view and slideshow. Okay, we're good to go. So we see everything and you can continue.
Okay, all right, we got it. All right, sorry about that. Are we good now?
Yes.
Sharika, are we good to go?
All is well, good to go. We see your screen.
All right, apologize to the audience about that. Definitely. Anyway, welcome once again to a presentation from First Bank. This one is called Fundamentals of Business Credit. We're going to be covering a number of topics based on my experience, lending experience in banking. There are certain areas that we have challenges with when we receive loan applications, loan requests, etc. And we're going to touch on 4 topics this morning: significance of a business plan, the importance of credit, the 5 C's of credit, how to improve your credit score. But I want to spend a significant amount of time on the first topic, significance of a business plan. And the reason is why, as we as lenders, when we get loan requests, one of the things that we look for is we ask for is a business plan. The business plan really is a foundation of your business. A business plan, let me go over a few words so you can see this. A business plan is the foundation of your business. It's like if you want to build a house, you'll go to an architect to draw plans that you will probably take into DPNR. The plans are a guideline in addition to meeting whatever zoning requirements. It's also a guideline for you as a builder, or owner, or contractor will use to construct your house or building. Similarly, a business plan for a business is a guideline for how you want to operate your business. It does not necessarily have to be written, but it is better and best when it is written. A business plan is a written description of your business's future, a document that tells what you plan to do and how you plan to do it. If you jot down a paragraph on the back of an envelope and this part is not finished, that could be your plan, however it works for you. If you don't need to come to the bank, the business plan can be as informal as you understand it and how you operate from it, how you operate it. However, as a lender, we lenders want to see your business plan in writing. We look for particular information. We want to have an understanding of your business. In addition to understanding the business, we interview you to make sure that you understand your business that goes along with what's written in your business plan. And I'll explain why too many times when clients come in to borrow, and we say, okay, where's your business plan? They don't have one, and they run and get one done and come back, and then they don't understand what's in the plan because somebody threw some information together, threw some figures together, and that's a no-no. We want to understand your business. We want to understand that you understand your business. So that's why we ask for it formally written and prepared. And let me just say aside, you can get most accountants, and financial experts, financial counselors can help you prepare a business plan. However, the organization that sponsors this presentation, SBDC, can assist you. Typically, they can assist clients with preparation of your business plan. You cannot go to them and say, I want a business plan. You have to go with your ideas. This is what I plan to do, or this is what my business is. I want a business plan. And they do typically prepare it, well, they always prepare it, assist you in preparing it, is a better word, in a format that they know lenders need, or lenders looking for. They've been doing, SBDC have been doing this for many years. And also, let me add also that they do have a handout that's called Steps to Writing a Business Plan. It's a step-by-step guide for you, the business person, to assist you in writing a business plan. May not be written in the format, always in the format that we will want as a lender, but if it works for you and you don't need to borrow, we should prepare a business plan. You still should work from a business plan. And we're going to go through some reasons why. So our business plan is a formal statement of business goals, reason they are attainable, and plans for reaching them. It may also contain background information about the organization or team attempting to reach those goals. A good business plan will include information such as what goods and services you are selling, who are your competitors, what makes you different from them, something on your business premises. Do you own the property? Does the business own the property, or does the owners of the business own the property? Makes a little difference, but when it's done properly, it should be addressed. Or are you leasing your business premises? Leasing, we look careful at when you're leasing at your property, because what are the terms of those leases? Do you have a 5-year term? And are you seeking to get a loan that will to be repaid over 10 or 15 years? You see, that's a potential problem if you cannot renew your lease after 5 years. We prefer to generally see long-term leases, 10, 15 years, if you can get it. Or at least you can have renewable terms that where the lease can be renewed every 5 years. So the pitfall with leasing business premises, that you're seeking to borrow funds to be repaid over 10, 15, 20 years, and your lease may run out after 10 years. So we look for things like that. And if you can't, it's a potential denial of your loan if you maybe can't convince us that you can renew this lease after 10 years. What's the condition of the business premises? Whether it's lease premises or own premises, what are the conditions? Are these, is this building going to last another 5 years or 10 years? Based on, and we as lenders, we come out and look at the premises to satisfy ourselves that it's in good condition. In other words, again, similarly like to lease premises, does this business look like, does this building, look like it's going to fall down after 5 years, but you have a loan to repay over 10 years? You see, so potentially the scenario may come to the scenario where you have a loan to repay over 10 years, and now your building is not in good condition to last another 10 years. And this is whether you own your premises or you're seeking to buy a building to house your premises. Similarly, with equipment, what's the condition of your equipment that which you're operating and which you rely on whether to produce your business, your products, or your services, etc. If you rely on this equipment, what are the ages? How long? What's the remaining useful life? How long have you had them? Have you had them 20 years? Are they still in good order? But now maybe you have to look at maintenance. Is the maintenance cost increasing? And we do look at these things. We look at your financial statements to see your maintenance expenses. Do you maybe need to invest in new, more modern equipment with technology, etc.? We also look at your financial information. If you're, in fact, let me just make this point. You should do a business plan if you're starting off, or whether you're already in business for 100 years. The reason is, again, and I should make this point, business plan is not for the lender. We want to see it, and we want to see it formally written, but it's for you to understand your business, where you stand at 81 point, what's happening in your business. You should review it periodically, whether it's monthly, quarterly. I don't suggest you maybe wait until annually to know what's going on. You want to review it to see maybe where you want to make tweaks. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should change a little bit to that. What was selling last year, not selling this year. So it depends if you're in a retail business, you might want to change your purchasing strategy in looking at the goods that you buy, because X product is not selling, Y product is now selling. X product used to sell and used to bring in, was very profitable for you, but changes in consumer taste may now decide that Y product is selling better. So you want to be on top of this thing. And you only do that by be on top of your business constantly, reviewing your papers, whether it's your plan, whether your accounts, whether your accounts receivables, your payables, review them often. So to make any change, so you can make adjustments as you go along. One of the pitfalls in my experience has been businesses that run into trouble and didn't know why, because of not staying on top of what's happening in their business, what's happening in their industry. As a business person, you need to stay on top of these. And I'm still coming back again to the topic. It says fundamentals of business credit. So you come to business to apply for loan, we examine you on all these things, whether through interviews or through your financial statements. Right. So just to recap, a business plan provides a small business owner with a roadmap to help his or her venture succeed. A lender will generally ask to review your business plan when you apply for a loan. The U.S. Small Business Administration, and I should have here also the SBDC, Small Business Development Center, has tools to help you develop a basic business plan. Consider sources of assistance for launching or expanding a small business. Sources of assistance is usually your accountant or whoever you rely on for business advice. But there are also other agencies where you can get these advice, like the Small Business Development Center, who is sponsoring this presentation. SCORE is an SBA affiliate organization that offer free advice and business counseling, etc. And VEDA, Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority, also has an office that can provide services such as training and coaching. Connect with small business specialists at your bank. Many banks have a designated team focused on small business lending who can help you identify other useful bank products and services. I can't say that at First Bank we really have such an office, but we experienced bankers, experienced and I should say well-rounded, because we deal with the multifaceted lending here in the Virgin Islands. We generally can sit down and counsel, provide advice up to a certain point to small businesses. I've learned that sometimes they're just looking for advice or direction to get a start, where to ask some questions, where to get a start, etc. They may also be able to refer you to others who can help business, such as professionals in selected fields or local trade groups. So I said, whether you're a new business or whether you're a mature business in operation for 10, 15, 20 years, it's good advice, it's good practice to have a business plan and review it often, weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, however it works for you. But what I want to emphasize is be aware of what's happening in your business so you can make adjustments and changes, etc., as our developments occur. But we know what's happening in your industry. So Sharika, I would like to anyone have any questions on that portion of the presentation?
I don't see any questions at this time. You can continue.
Okay. All right. Sorry. The importance of credit. Your credit is a factor in your life. I'm going to, these 3 bullet points talk about importance of credit. Your credit speaks to your character. Your credit is you. And this credit that we're talking about here is generally personal credit. Because although we're talking about business, a lot of emphasis is placed on your personal credit. And most of you on this presentation may know heard about credit score, credit bureau report, credit history, and your credit score, which is a big, big thing. A lot of we make, as lenders, we make decisions on your loan request based on your credit score. If your credit score is good, it helps. If your credit score is bad, it may cause you, as good as your loan request may be, and we may like it, your personal credit may sink your request and we may deny your credit. And what is a good credit score? It varies from lender to lender. At First Bank, and you may see it later, but I'll touch on it now. Our minimum credit score in the commercial area is 660. And when it's our minimum, the minimum we like to see is 660. 660 and above, we consider good. Anything under 660, and then definitely once you drop down under 600, definitely bad. There may be exceptions, depends on what's on your score. We may look at your repayment pattern. We look at if you have collection items, you have student loans in collections. Then you have a history of not paying well. So all of these things will be brought out on your credit report. So we make decisions and say your credit speaks to your character. Maybe it's not entirely true. Maybe you're a good paying person. Things went bad. You lost your job. You were ill for a while and could not keep up with your obligations. These things come back to haunt you. You know, if you know, well, for instance, you had a bad break, you were out of work for a while because you were extended illness or you lost your job, try to make sure you discuss with the loan officer. We may ask for information. We may look then, okay, this happened some time ago, maybe 2, maybe 3, 4 years ago. We may look at recent patterns. No guarantee that it's going to work, but it helps that if the lender has a better understanding of why your score will drop down under 600, why it's so low, etc. Right? The 5 C's of credit: capacity, capital, character, collateral, conditions. These are 5 C's of credit, and it's ingrained in my head. Most lenders. Now, these are the terms that we consider. These are the things that we consider once we decide, okay, this application look good. Do you have capacity? Do you have the ability to repay? This is the first C, capacity. Can you repay? We examine your projections, we examine your history, examine your financial statements, and there are certain terms which we won't go into here now to see what you can repay. I should emphasize, as a business, your ability to repay come from profits. If you're not making money, you probably can't cover your expenses. And how are you going to repay a loan? So that's how we look at it, capacity. You have to be making money, you have to be making a profit to be able to repay your loan. Capital, do you have the required financial resources? And in this really, the term we use, do you have skin in the game? If you come to us to purchase a commercial property, let's say it's 100,000, typically we only finance 75%, which means you should have 25%, and maybe a little more to cover closing costs. Banks typically do not finance 100% of asset purchases. There may be some exceptions, it depends. But if you are a new borrower coming in for the first time, you say, this building is 100,000, it suits my business well, and we may agree, but I don't have any money to inject. Yes, you may not get that loan if you don't have that 25% and some more to cover your expenses. So skin in the game is important. Character, do you have a proven track record with your creditors? Some of this I just spoke about with your credit history. That's one of the first things we look at. But also, we may check with people who you're doing business with if you're an existing or new borrower. Do you have can we speak with them? If we speak with them, what are they going to tell us? Are they going to say, do you normally pay on time? Or they say, we give him 30 days, but he take us 90 days to pay. And if that's maybe a recurring pattern, we may not feel comfortable, no matter, even if the other four C's are good. Collateral, does the collateral have the required value? This goes somewhat hand in hand with the capital, but a little different because the building that you're purchasing for $100,000, it should have a value of at least $100,000. If it's valued less than $100,000, then we may say, okay, everything has been equal. You have the 25%, but then we do an appraisal and it comes in at 90,000. And you say, well, I still want, even though it's 90,000, even though it's 100,000 and the value is 90,000, I still want this building because it's suitable for my business. This is what would work best for my business. Going elsewhere will not work. So what we do, we take 75% of 90,000, which is 67,500. So instead of getting a loan of 75% of 100, you're getting a loan for 75% of 90,000. What that does now is increases the amount that you need to come up with, right? So instead of coming up with 25,000, you now have to come up with 32,500 collateral value. And we typically see this from time to time, where the value does not necessarily equate to the purchase price. Conditions. Are conditions of the loan commitment acceptable? Well, the conditions here, there's two different conditions here. One, the conditions of the loan, we say, okay, you ask for 10 years, we can only give you 5 years because of X, whatever the reason is. We want financial statements every year. We want to come out to your business unannounced and see what you're doing, etc. And other conditions and terms, interest rate. You may say you want 5%. We say, okay, we can do less than 7.5%. Those are some of the conditions in the loan commitment. We actually give you a loan, something called a commitment letter that will outline the terms and conditions for a loan. The other conditions, which are typically looked at upfront when you apply, what are the economic conditions that affect the borrower? I've given an example in the past, for instance, like our business that I got a lot of business from Hovensa when it was operating. Whatever it is, whether it's for trucking services, garbage services, etc. But then we get the news that Hovensa is going to close within the next 12 months. And then you come to us for a loan to buy new trucks. New trucks, whether new or used, well, unlikely you're going to be repaying this over 3, 4, 5 years. Hovensa is your only client. We're going to be very reluctant to give you a loan to be paid over 5 years when we know the refinery is going to be closed within the next year. So we look at all of these things. And as a business owner, you should consider these things. I go back to the business plan. If you're planning correctly and if you're aware what's happening, it's not always under your control. The events are closing, is not under your control. But if you keep up with changes that were happening in the industry and you plan properly, you'll be able to plan for some of these things better, and it may not affect your business as negatively as when you didn't plan. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Morris, we have a question.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
If your credit history is perfect, no derogatory marks, and 100% payment, but the credit card is over 30%, which brings it down, would you look into approving the loan based on those factors?
A lot more going to approving a loan than just I'm speaking from a business standpoint, which is a little different from consumer credit, like a personal loan, where the emphasis a lot is on your credit score, a good credit score. And business, yes, some of these things we take into account, and I think we're going to touch on that later on in the presentation in terms of how to maintain and how we recover from negative credit scores. Right. But yes, we take that into account. Mm. Right. The FACT Act, the Fair and Accurate, that's the thing. The FACT Act, a law signed in December 2003, amending the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, Fair Credit actually should be the Fair Credit and Accurate Transactions Act. Okay, the law that was signed in December 2003, amending the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it's called the Fair Credit and Accurate Reporting Act. And that came out of an increase in identity theft over the years. So Congress finally did something and passed the Fair Credit and Accurate Transactions Act, which more accurately fights identity theft. Under this one that, sorry, the name is not here, Fair Credit Accurate Transactions Act, it allows consumer to receive one free credit report every 12 months. And I think it's in subsequent emails, subsequent slides. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go through some of these. On this slide, you're seeing the three major credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. The one that First Bank uses in the commercial department is TransUnion. In some instances, especially in mortgage department. They use all three. You get a FICO score. They all provide FICO scores. And those that use all three, I think they have an average score. So let's really go through it quickly. The three primary credit reporting agencies, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, understand the importance of accessing your credit reporting and managing your credit health. The law that came in effect in December 2003, it allows you, or it entitles you to a free copy of your credit report from each of the credit reporting agencies every 12 months. Your credit report is a compilation of information that provides a detailed look at your financial situation. By reviewing your credit report, you will be able to know what lenders will see when you apply for a loan. And again, in preparing to come to going to a bank for loans, whether personal loans or business loans, you should know what's in your credit report. You should try to get a copy of your credit report. So you can know what's there and you're not blindsided. Something that we say, okay, you know what? You have two loans here in the delinquent, and you say, no, not me. I pay them no, but then it shows here. And as it turns out, it may very well not be yours. Somebody may have stole your identity and have a loan in your name, affecting your personal credit. So it's important that you try to get a credit report. We encourage you to get a copy of your credit report free. The subsequent slide, I think it has the information. And take advantage and be aware of what's going on so you're not be blindsided. In the bottom box, it said, note that these agencies only provide you with your credit report. Yes. If you want your credit score, yes, you have to pay for that. The credit score is derived from your credit report. Your credit report is calculated based on the information in your credit report. Each credit bureau will provide you with your credit score for a fee. So on this next slide now, to get your free credit report, the www.annualcreditreport.com. Or there's a number there where you can call, or an address there where you can write. And you can download, if you access on the website, you can download the form. You can download the form from that website, annualcreditreport.com, or just write a letter. They will ask you for certain information, required proof of identity, social security card, etc., address. And all of this, the required proof of identity and addresses to make sure that it's you and not somebody pretending to be you.
Okay, Mr. Morris, while we're on that screen, I have two questions to get to you. Is
Sure.
it better to find a local small bank for a loan rather than a big bank?
I'm not sure what they mean by local small bank or big bank. I consider all that as banking goes, as the banking industry, those that operate in the Virgin Islands are small banks. I'm not sure what they mean by the questions.
So hopefully
yes.
they can expound and give more
Yeah.
details to better answer
Yeah, because the
questions.
big banks, big banks are those like Chase, Citibank, Chemical Bank, Wells Fargo. Those are large banks. Those can swallow up to some extent First Bank, and Banco Popular is a sizable bank, but still not as large as the Citibank or Wells Fargo. But in general, sorry, go ahead, Sharika.
They ask small banks such as bank inside Walmart or big banking like Chase, Capital One, etc.
Okay, a bank inside Walmart, I'm not sure. I'm not quite familiar. Maybe Walmart probably usually have their own financing division. Yeah. Well, I mean, well, so what was the question? If it's better to go to a small bank?
From what I'm seeing, is it better to find a local small bank than it is to find a bigger bank?
Yeah. I don't think, I think the small bank and the local banks, you have people who you can face and talk to face, you can talk to face. I consider the banks operating in the Virgin Islands small banks. I'm not sure if anything is better because they all, whether big or small, they all generally look at some in the same way, maybe with a little variation here, whether instead of 660, maybe 675 for a minimum credit score or 620, etc. But in general, the all banks generally look for the same thing in borrowers. Mhm.
Okay, here's
I
another question.
yeah,
I'm
sure.
sorry, you can continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so the other question, can you please describe the difference between a soft pull and hard pull? How these concepts impact your credit score?
Yeah, I was gonna touch on that. I don't think it's on here, but I can discuss that. A soft pull. So let me just get a little thing. Everybody is aware. I mean, your credit score impacts. I mean, we mentioned earlier, your credit score speaks to your character. Credit, your credit is a factor in your life. Your credit is you. Now, almost everywhere you go, these contemporary times, somebody want to look at your credit. And I guess more prevalent in the States and the mainland, US mainland, where if you went in an apartment, somebody they look at your credit score, or they want to look at your credit. You're going for a job, they look at your credit, they want to see your credit, etc. And they make a decision right then and there whether or not you get a job or whether or not you can get that apartment. So what a soft score is, they're just looking for certain information. I think usually the score, and they make a decision based on that. But here's the big difference between a soft pull and the hard. The hard one registers on your credit report, and it stays there for a length of time. And too many hard pulls within a short space of time bring down your existing score. So let's say you start off April, you got good credit, 700, or let's say decent. Let me start with let's 675. And for whatever reason, your score get pulled, somebody pull a hard score. Uh, maybe three during the month. And by the time you reach to the bank for something you really want to do, now you come to the bank to get a loan and you pull your score, and now it's down at 650. And you want to know why. Because those three hard scores registered and too many scores within a short space of time, the track pull down your score. And the reason is because it would appear as though you're going from bank to bank looking for something and you get turned down. That's really the rationale. Not always true, but that is how it affects your score. A soft score doesn't register on your credit report. I hope I answered that to the satisfaction.
We have another comment.
Sure.
On the soft versus hard pull, is there a number of soft pull extractions where it can add up to a hard pull, for example?
No.
Okay.
No. Soft pull will never register. The soft pull doesn't sometimes usually they're only just looking for just one piece of bit information and they make a decision on that. A hard pull will register. It will provide them more information and they may they can make a more better informed decision based on a hard pull. A soft, and they may change their mind from the soft pull, but generally the soft pull they're just looking for score, you're below a minimum score, etc., and a decision is made on that. Okay, so accessing your credit score and scores for a fee. Okay, and this information is for the three credit bureau companies, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, that's their website, you can go. And you can ask each one of them for your credit score and compare one with the other. Of course, to get your credit score, there's a fee. There's no fee for getting a free credit report. And credit scores ranges from 300 to 850. A good score threshold is 660 and above. Generally good, and that's what we use here at First Bank. Score of 750 and above is considered excellent credit. Okay. These are the 5 items that impact your credit score, and the percentage and the emphasis, how much is emphasis is accorded to which one, to each. A payment history, having a good payment history. Well, payment history, 35% of whatever the number is that they're looking at is accorded to. Let me put it this way. Your payment history contributes 35% towards your credit score. Outstanding debt is 30%. Outstanding mean what you have, what you owe presently. Length of credit history, 15%. I mean, if you have a good, if you're in the system for 15, 20 years, you get 15%, that contributes 15% towards your score. Credit inquiries, those are the hard follow as we just discussed. And too many of them would really, as I said, impact your total your score. Healthy mix of credit, 10%. And the healthy mix is like, in a simplified example, is like having a mortgage, an auto loan, and a credit card. That's considered a healthy mix. And hopefully, if you're paying them all on time, it contributes significantly to your payment history, and you have a good credit score. Too much outstanding debt can bring down your score. Okay, this here may answer the question about somebody paying on a credit card. Be cautious how much you borrow. Credit scores are generally higher for consumers who do not max out or otherwise use a large share of their available credit. Being careless about borrowing money can lead to debt overload. So and this may answer the question that asked earlier about paying. I remember the exact question. If you have a credit card with a limit of $10,000, do not max it out, and certainly do not exceed the limit. Even though you have a $10,000 limit, keeping it at somewhere between at 50%, maybe a 75%, depending on your circumstances. But keeping more at 50% is a good practice that would keep your scores. Just say credit scores are generally higher for consumers who do not max out or otherwise use a large share of their available credit. So your available credit is 10,000. Do not max it out. At most, ongoingly keep it at about 50% of the limit, which means that 5,000. Pay it off when you can, better still. Having more available credit is good for your score, for a good score. In other words, 10,000 and you only owe 2,000, that means you have available credit of 8,000 on that card. That's good. The closer you are to the limit, it may impact your score negatively. Paying late impact negatively. Going over the limit and staying over the limit impacts negatively. I usually encourage clients to, if you can, at least pay the minimum and pay it on time. When you can pay more, but don't hold back that. Always pay at least that minimum and pay it. But I say on time, I actually mean before time. Actually, that's the next topic. Always make your payments on time, whether it's your phone bill, utility bill, car loan, or credit card. Pay at least the minimum due and pay it on time, because payments that are 30 days late, it says may, but it actually will start lowering your credit score. Setting up automatic payments can help you make the due dates.
We have
If
another
you-
question, Mr. Morris.
Okay.
In a different webinar, it was suggested to have 3 to 5 credit cards. This was to have different credit availability. What are your thoughts?
Again, so I'll go back to the first point about generally. Credit scores are generally higher for consumers who do not max out or otherwise use a large share of their available credit. It depends on your discipline and your need for credit and how well you can control credit. I'm not sure if you need to have five credit cards. I've seen people who have 5 credit cards and can manage them and have a bad score. And I've seen people with 5 credit cards and manage them and have a good score. The thing is that if you have a good score, credit score, let's say 700, the way to keep it up there is to go back to the payment history and outstanding debt. The lower the outstanding debt, generally, especially in a credit card, that means you have availability. And if you keep paying on time, yes, you will maintain a good score. I am not an advocate for. I would not encourage anyone to have 5 credit cards unless you really have that discipline to manage them and manage them wisely. And as I said, I've known people to take 1 credit card and pay off another one. Well, simply because it works for them. But generally, you won't find that being advocated in any way. People who can control their personal debt, yes. So check your credit report regularly. Erroneous or outdated information on your report or fraudulent information can hurt your credit score. So time running out, we're getting out there, okay? Repairing credit score, and we're gonna go through this quickly. Develop an action plan to address any negative information, which means generally, if it's negative, well, it depends on what you mean by negative information. If it's negative information because somebody steal your identity, you have to address that with the credit bureaus. And this may have been addressed in a previous presentation by another officer. Correct errors or disputes by writing or calling the credit reporting agency, listing the inaccurate information. They have to address it. If you point it out to them, they have to address it. Typically, they have to write to the lender that's listed on the credit report and ask them that this consumer is disputing this, and they have within, I don't remember, I think it's 30 days to respond to and make a correction. Or they will come back and say, no, our records are accurate. And again, but they would have to, again, provide evidence. Any errors must be corrected and removed if the creditor does not respond. Oh, okay, it's 30 days. And they have the items there that have to be addressed. Ways to protect your credit. If identity theft is suspected, use a fraud alert for new credit, pros and cons. The fraud alert is simply telling the credit bureau that I want to place this on my record, that anyone calls, or anybody try to pull a credit, and it can vary. You may want whoever wants to pull the credit report to contact you. They have your number, and when they receive the credit report, they have to call you and ask you certain questions, and you ask them certain questions to make sure, because somebody may be trying to steal your credit, and this is a way to protect it, having this fraud alert on your record. When we talk about credit score, it's also important to know that because there are multiple credit scoring models, credit scores may vary, and they may vary between the 3 credit reporting agencies. And go to this quickly. Generally, you come for, you want to apply for a business loan. In addition to the business plan, we look to see that you have the equity participation. That's the skin in the game that I spoke about earlier. Business management experience. I forgot to mention that's That's an important topic to discuss and explain in your business plan, your experience, your college, whether college or your educational background and your business management experience. Are you the one who running this business, who started it and running it? Are you the one that the business rely on for success? Occasionally, we as lenders come across somebody running a business, but they rely on someone else for the success of the business. And that in itself, we look at carefully. There are ways that we try to address that. The 5 C's of credit we mentioned earlier. We have an application that we give that you present. You ask us for, we ask for financial statements, your tax returns, accountant prepared or audited statements, a personal financial statement, which is on you to show us what you have, what accounts you have, what other assets you have, what mortgage or credit cards that you owe, etc. And of course, your business plan that I discussed earlier. So, Sharika, I will stop here. I'm not sure if the time must run out. So, any questions? Any further questions?
We have a question. Can you please touch on post-loan liquidity?
Post one?
Post-loan liquidity.
Okay, I'm not sure what that means, post-loan liquidity. I'm not sure, I'm not following the question.
Okay, so
What is
perhaps
that?
you can explain further and then we can get your question answered. Let's give them some time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to touch on it because I'm not sure whether it's going post-loan liquidity.
Okay.
Yeah. Any others?
I don't see any as yet.
Mhm. Well, if you have my contact information and the person want to call me or contact me to maybe discuss it some more, that question, so maybe I can have a better understanding.
Okay, no problem. So I guess in the interest of time, we can proceed to the next slides. And if you have any questions, we'll be sure to address them right before closing.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, so the VI SBDC has so much more in store for the US VI small business community. You can visit our website at www.visbdc.org. Download the VI SBDC app on your mobile device from the appropriate app store. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Business, and subscribe to the VI SBDC YouTube channel for new uploads of our on-demand webinars. Here's a preview of what we have available. On-demand webinars you can find on the VI SBDC training portal. Click the training tab and select all for all of the trainings that we host. And you'll see some on-demand trainings. Here are a few that are there right now. We have USVI business banking concepts, strategies, and best practices available for you to watch at your leisure. There's developing a business plan, understanding personal and business credit, establishing and repairing credit, as well as small business accounting 101. So after today's live event, this webinar will be converted into an on-demand format. So you can go ahead and register and you can go ahead and watch the presentation from beginning to end once more if the need be. I just want to highlight that next week is National Small Business Week. We encourage you to visit our platforms, go ahead and vote and register for the SBA National Virtual Summit so you can see all of the trainings that SBDCs across the nations in addition to small business development organizations have put on for small business days that entrepreneurs to participate in. The summit is free of cost. So we want you guys to go ahead and participate and take advantage of what's offered to you there. I just see thanks in terms of the training. It was resourceful and the information. You can contact the SBDC. Once again, I'd like to encourage you to take a few minutes after this training. I'm going to email you a participation survey. Attached is going to be a copy of today's presentation. And so we just want to formally thank the Virgin Islands First Bank VI for collaborating with us on this financial literacy series. And on behalf of the entire VI SBDC network, we'd like to thank everyone for participating and wish you all a productive day. So bye, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.